I realized there's over 2,000 scriptures. Bible talks about money and wealth and finance and stewardship. I was like, what's the best book than this that can give this ancient wisdom that a lot of business and people uses, but they might not acknowledge or understand it. But there's so much powerful truth and foundation that you can build your legacy on.
I love that. Tell me a little bit about what type of clients do you normally work with? Welcome to Concrete Build Crypto Financing, where we explore the intersection of real estate and crypto financing. We invite leaders, experts, and both real estate and crypto investors on our show to gain knowledge into the revolutionary new field of tokenized real estate. And now to introduce my guest for tonight. My guest tonight is Sam Vadakekut, and he is an expert voice in the field of faith-based strategic wealth and legacy planning, trust structure. Sam's Optimal Wealth Strategy Group specializes in strategic finance, and we are delighted to have him here tonight. Please join me in welcoming Sam Vadakekut. How are you doing today, Sam?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. What do you see as the future of real estate, and how does crypto financing play a part in that future?
The real estate is everywhere. The whole world is a real estate, and they're not making any more of that. There's always in demand. And crypto, even though it's a new aspect of trade of money and wealth and transfer things, it has played a big role. It looks like it is becoming more normal than it used to be. So, obviously, those two are a big part of the human life.
For sure, for sure. Now, you said that you have some clients that are involved in both real estate and crypto. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I do, because as part of my wealth advisory and some of the strategic financial tools that I use, one of the structure that is called, it's a trust structure, which is where you basically keep all your assets, your net worth, all those in a trust where it is protected, and also it creates a lot of tax advantage because it's a very unique copyrighted trust. So a lot of real estate investors, when they do syndicates and things like that, buy these because why? There is tax in a deferment. That means you can defer most of your capital gain in a passive income and things like that. And crypto traders, stock market traders, real estate agents, and investors, they all use this to protect the asset and also to defer some taxes. So that's some of my group of actually, I have a realtor who bought several trusts and basically, put all the investors into different ones so that they can protect their asset and also their investment while they're saving on taxation.
Tell us a little bit more about faith-based strategic wealth and legacy planning, specifically your Optimal Wealth Strategy Group. How did that come about? And what do you do specifically? I know you gave us a little bit of an intro there, but
well, like I said, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm also a faith-based wealth advisor. Faith-based is basically, we all have faith in different ways. But for me I have a personal faith in which I have studied biblical principles on finance, wealth, money, legacy, all those things. And I realized there are a lot of foundational truth. You can use that principles to increase wealth and or to manage and grow, and not only for temporary result here, but for eternal riches. So my journey started 15-20 years ago, just pursuing different truth. As I studied the biblical principles on money and wealth, I realized there's over 2,000 scriptures. Bible talks about money and wealth and finance and stewardship. I was like, what's the best book than this that can give this ancient wisdom that a lot of business and people uses, but they might not acknowledge or understand it. But there's so much powerful truth and foundation that you can build your legacy on.
I love that. Tell me a little bit about what type of clients do you normally work with?
Most of my clients are high income earners or high net worth individuals. I work mostly with business owners and investors. That's why I have a connection with real estate and crypto, and also even international investors, who brings the wealth here. I use multiple, financial strategic tools, not a typical traditional tools, very strategic tools that can protect your asset, and decrease or eliminate most of your taxation And also, especially real estate investors, when it comes to 1031 exchange and eminent domain and all those things, within the trust structure, you are able to eliminate all the risk and liability that comes from it, and also you can buy today and sell tomorrow. So there's a lot of strategic tools that are used to help with real estate and investments and things like that.
So, I mean, real estate in itself already has a lot of tax advantages and tax protections.
So most of the tax advantages, like 1031, right? You buy property, you cannot sell tomorrow, right? There's restrictions there. As much as there is tax advantages, they come with a lot of restrictions. And because that's how government has set in place. With the trust structure, you can buy tomorrow, buy today and sell tomorrow. There's no capital gain. You don't need to buy a property. You can hold the property for how many years you want. With real estate, at 1031, you have to have, there's restrictions. You have to sell a certain time. So because of that, you may not be able to find the leverage and also flexibility that we offer through some of our financial planning and strategic tools that we use.
I love that. Well, tell me a little bit about how crypto plays a part in this, because I know that the government is taxing crypto pretty heavily as well. So how are you protecting crypto specifically?
So this is, the trust structure we use. It's a legally formed copyrighted structure, which, I have partnered, my financial firm has partnered with a law firm that does all the, paperwork and the legal setup of it. So what it does, it enables you, because this copyrighted, again, this been around for, 50, 70 years. They copyrighted this 25 years ago, so that, they are the only firm that, sells this process. So basically that trust structure enables you to defer taxes for any crypto stock market investment for capital gains. So if you can gain $100,000 or $1 million, and as long as the trust owns it, the taxation goes from an individual to the trust EIN. So the trust has the ability to defer taxes. So that's how a lot of the crypto and real estate investors can save on their taxation. And also, if there are investors, they can also create asset protection and tax advantage. So you're talking 20-30% of difference for if you're doing any kind of property, you're getting a group of people to invest together and things like that. So there's multiple advantages using this. And also it creates privacy, because once a trust owns it, it detaches your personal liability and your name from it. So no one can sue it. No one can, take any of your asset away from through, different problems that is in the marketplace.
I love it. I love it. I like the idea, because I know that a lot of people are using all kinds of funky ways to get away from crypto taxes, moving to Puerto Rico for a one. Have you heard of that?
You got to jump too many hoops to save on taxes these days, right? But this is very simple. It's very simple, all legal. It's all done by the law firm that they've been doing this for 50, 60 years. And as a matter of fact, this trust has been around hundreds of years. So it came from England, actually, and it's been around for so many years. And I know multiple IRS agents and directors who uses this, because they have audited this trust to make sure it complies with the IRS rules and regulations. So there's that safety and legal protection that gives you peace of mind that, hey, if you set it up right and manages it well, you have a lot of tax advantages, asset protection, privacy, and things like that, especially for crypto and real estate.
Tell me a little bit about the costs. What are we looking at?
So this, of course, this is not a typical trust, right? You can buy a regular trust, $500,000, and it has no advantage other than, help with the probate. So this is, if you can save 1 year of taxes, or, 50,000, 100,000, it gives you 10, 100x plenty. So instead of giving you a specific answer on, what the cost, because it depends on what structure, because it's a custom made, trust structure. So, it could be anywhere from 10, 15 to, 50,000. So depending on what are you, because if you are a high net worth investor and have millions of dollars, you will want to have multiple, because there's beneficial trust, there's business trust, charitable trust. It's different kind, even for crypto specific trust setup, so that it complies with the IRS rules and regulations. So that's the part that the lawyers will review to make sure, based on what is the field you are in. We have oil and gas and multiple different investment areas. So it's an investment you do to protect the asset and also have a tax advantage. You don't need to move to anywhere else to get those benefits that you can have it.
Awesome, awesome. Well, tell our viewers how they can reach you, how they can get access to Optimal Wealth Strategy Group, and how they can find out more information.
So I have a website. It's an educational site. It's called optimalwealthstrategygroup.com. And that's where I have given, because I love educating people, because it's not for everyone. It is for people who would like to do unconventional way, because this is not a typical wealth advisory setup. So this is done through a customized setup. So if you go to my website, it has details of the different strategic financial tools that I use. And my telephone number is also there. You can reach me through that, or my email address, samv@optimalwealthsg.com.
Wonderful. We'll be sure to add that into the description. So thank you so much, Sam. This was a very educational podcast for our viewers, I'm sure. And for any of our viewers that also want some more information on how to tokenize your properties, please visit us at concretebuild.org. Concrete Build, tokenizing properties, tokenizing wealth.
Thank you.